Hey nail babes, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Taylor and I'm back at it again with another nail video. Today we doing this candy inspired set for my girl's baby shower.
Like Gucci, Gucci, Louis, Louis, Fendi, Fendi, Prada. Them basic bitches wear that shit, so I don't even bother. Gucci, Gucci, Louis, Louis, Fendi, Fendi.
So we're starting off with her nails already prepped. As you can see, she's getting some XXXLs, girl. My favorite kind of nails to do ever. So right now, we're just preparing these nails for all the craziness that's about to go on in this nail set. So I'm starting off with doing the Dum Dum lollipop nail on both of her. I think I did her ring finger on this hand and then her index finger on the other hand. So I learned from the first time that you have to buff all the nails first before applying the glue so that the wrappers will stick better. At this point, she said baby Kawaii was moving all around in her stomach because I told her to eat the lollipops. Once I got the wrapper stuck on, I'm using my fingers to press down on the sides of them, and I'm also kind of pinching the sides just to make sure everything is laying properly. You don't want to file the edges off or anything. I just cut off a little bit of the excess so I would be able to have a seamless ombre. Of course, as you can already see, her baby shower theme is going to be candy. Well, her baby shower theme was candy because her baby shower was the day before yesterday. And she had it decorated all cute. She had all these like candy, like big fake candies all over the place, and she had like cupcakes and all types of, it was just decorated all girly, which was a perfect fit because her baby name is Kawaii. And you know, I'm so pressed about the baby's name because, girl, Kawaii, that's something that I would have named my own daughter. Like, how perfect is that name? Like, it's literally, the name literally means cute. Like, how can you go wrong with that for a girl name? Especially because Kawaii is one of my favorite kind of nail sets to do. I just like junk. I just like little cute things all over my nails. So, I love it. I love it. It was a perfect fit. If you guys remember, I did some, what are they called? Fairly Odd Parents. I did some Fairly Odd Parents nails not too long ago. This is the same person. This is the person I did the gender reveal nails for. If you want to see that video, I'll see if I can link it. I'm still getting into like how the YouTube stuff works, so I'm gonna just look it up how to link it, because I've been saying I'm gonna try to link the videos and I'm never able to. So I'm just gonna see. I'm gonna just look it up. Right now, I'm just doing some acrylic application for the girls who like to watch this portion. This video is already really long. It's almost an hour long. And that's simply because these nails had a whole lot of detail, not to mention that they're really, really long. So I tried to cut the video down as much as I could, but for the most part today, you're just gonna have to grab some snacks because this is gonna be a long one. I might even go ahead and add in some Reddit stories at the end. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. For those who are new to this channel, welcome. I'm not sure if I said that in the beginning, but welcome to my channel. My name is Taylor Orr, and I'm a nail artist based in Maryland. I was in Baltimore, Maryland, and now I'm in Randallstown, Maryland. If you are not new here, you already know what my application is like, but I'm still going to talk through it for the new people. If there's anybody who is curious or has any questions about how I do my acrylic application, I mean, you can kind of just watch if you want. but I'll explain a little bit more of like what I'm doing in detail when I get to the next finger. So I decided to move over a couple fingers to the index finger and start my ombre. The reason I'm doing this is because I just did the pinky, and this is gonna keep me from being too close. You see my nails are really long, so I don't want to accidentally bump her other finger that I just did. So it just helps to move over a couple fingers and just kind of do it back and forth. So from pinky to index, back to ring finger, then middle, then thumb. So I've already placed my ombre bead on the index finger, and now I'm moving over to this ring finger. I wanted to keep the first part of the video kind of close to normal speed, but again, this video is really long, so I am gonna speed up the rest of this video. So I start off with a very large bead of acrylic, and I place it where the natural nail meets the tip, and I bring that one large bead all the way down to the base of the nail, and I clean up my sidewalls as I'm going. My next bead is going to be like the apex bead. So I'm going to place that bead, pat it in place, and I'm going to bring it downward. These nails are really, really long, and I knew that this whole process was going to take a while. So I kind of did my apex bead and my cuticle bead kind of at the same time. So I placed my second largest bead close to the cuticle area, but not touching the cuticle area. I used the tip of my brush to bring it up into the cuticle area and kind of just let it seep in while bringing down the bottom. And that helps me to still have an apex area with only 2 beads. Now I'm going to be looking at the nail from different angles and seeing if there's any gaps in the nails and if I need to add any more acrylic. So already I see that there is there is a space at the tip of the nail. So I'm going to take a small bead of acrylic and I'm going to fill in that gap. Now I'm gonna just let you watch the rest of this application portion, and I'll be back when it's time for designs. I just wanted to pop in really quickly to bring your attention to the way I place my acrylic bead. So I like to place my bead, my cuticle bead, sideways because it just gives you an easier application versus placing it on the wide way. When I place it on sideways, it already kind of gives me the shape of the cuticle area, so it's much more easy to blend the acrylic into the cuticle area without it flooding. So this right here would be an example of me placing a bead sideways, and me flipping my hand back around the normal way is an example of me placing the bead wide ways, which is the standard. So this is what I mean. Here I am again placing the bead sideways. And you can see how much easier it is to blend into the cuticle area because holding my hand this way allows the acrylic to just already be in the shape that I need it to. Hopefully I was able to explain that in a way that you can understand. Now I'm just checking the nails, looking at them again, And I see that there's a little dent in the middle finger, and I did go back in and correct that towards the end. So now that my application is finished and the nails are all shaped, I'm gonna go ahead and get into my designs. So I'm starting off by just top coating both of the nails that have the Dum Dum lollipop wrappers on them. And after each nail that you see me work on, I'm just gonna be curing each hand in between. So once I do one hand, I'm gonna let her cure her hand, and then I'm gonna be moving on to the other hand, and so on and so forth. Now I'm going in with my longest Winstonia nail art brush, and I'm going to begin drawing on my Frenchies. So I'm going to do one blue Frenchie, and then I'm going to do a pink Frenchie on the other hand. Now I'm gonna be using some 3D sculpting gel, and I just took it and made like a little roll, like I rolled it up in between my fingers, and then I just placed it on the nail. This was my first time using this stuff, so I didn't really know how it worked, but I kind of got the idea of it off of Instagram. So I saw them just place it on there, and then they went straight to painting. So I just kind of already knew that, okay, you must have to just cure it in between. So I placed it on the nail, and then I let her cure her nail in the lamp. And so when she brought her hand out, it was nice and solidified, so it was hardened. And then I was able to go ahead and paint on top of it. And I like this stuff now. I've used it now 3 times since I've done her nails. I'm going in with some McCart rhinestone glue, and I'm using the end of a dotting tool to just place some of this gel in different little jelly bean type of patterns. And then I'm gonna cure this in the lamp so that I can paint these two. On this jelly bean finger, I just went ahead and I put 2 coats of the gel polish on top of each gel spot. So I just kind of time-lapsed that a little bit so you wouldn't have to sit and watch me paint every single little dot. So I'm just taking some more of that 3D carving gel and I'm just placing some little like gumdrop shaped balls, like I'm just rolling them up in my fingers and placing them on the nails however I saw fit. So basically for this set, I didn't have any idea what I was doing. This set was another freestyle. So basically I'm just going in and adding extra detail anywhere that I see fit. I decided to do some line art on the middle finger just to add like some pop of color because I wanted this set to be on the busier side, so I wanted there to be a lot going on. So you'll just see me keep going back to that finger. Now on this finger, I'm just basically painting some little dots just to make the 3D art design stand out a little bit more. And then I'm gonna paint my little balls. I wasn't sure if I wiped the painted dots off with alcohol, if it was going to rub any of the color off. So just to avoid that, I just went ahead and top coated each of my little dots. Now I'm just doing some more line art on the other middle finger. So I decided that I was just gonna place little drips and lines of gel polish in different colors all over this nail. So I just pretty much covered majority of the blank space with the gel polish. Once I was happy with the coverage of the lines, I just went ahead and cured that, and I'm just going to top coat that one later. And I'm just going back and forth with each finger, curing in between. So I just want I'm not doing anything special, nothing fancy. I'm just doing like random lines. For the thumb, I decided to do something like an ice cream cone. So I'm just continuing to go back and forth between all the nails, and you'll be able to see me create that one slowly but surely. This time I decided to go for a spiral pattern, so I just took the carbon gel and wrapped it around kind of like a little loop-de-loop. I cured that and moved back onto my ice cream finger. So guys, I found a good Reddit story. Oh my gosh, this is a good one. So I was just looking on there and I saw a thread that said, what's your favorite story that you've read on Reddit? It doesn't have to be word for word. So this guy commented and said that this guy from the nicest thing you've done thread, his account was deleted, so he couldn't give him proper credits, but he said, thanks for the great story, man. And this was a great story. So I'm going to tell it to you guys. The story reads, I was day tripping to Vancouver from Seattle and stopped in for lunch at a little cafe. From my window, I saw a young teenage girl out in the cold, squatted down in a closed-up business doorway, holding a small bundle in her arms. She was panhandling. People were mostly walking by, ignoring her. She looked just broken. I finished up my meal and went outside. Went through my wallet and thought I'd give her $5 for some food. I got up to her and she was sobbing. She looked like she was 14, 15 years old. And that bundle in her arms was a baby wrapped up. I felt like I just got punched in the chest. She looked up, putting on a game face, and asked for any change. I asked her if she'd like some lunch. Right next door was a small Quick Trip type grocery store. I got a can of formula for the baby, very young, maybe 2-3 months old, and took her back to the cafe, though I'd just eaten. She was very thankful, got a burger, and just inhaled it. Got her some pie and some ice cream. She opened up and we talked. She was 15, got pregnant, parents were angry, and she was fighting with them. She ran away. She's been gone almost 1 full year. I asked her if she'd like to go home, and she got silent. I coaxed her. She said her parents wouldn't want her back. I coaxed further. She admitted she stole $5,000 in cash from her dad. Turns out $5,000 doesn't last that long at all, and the streets are tough on a 15-year-old. Very tough. She did want to go back, but she was afraid no one wanted her back after what she did. We talked more. I wanted her to use my phone and call home, but she wouldn't. I told her I'd call and see if her folks wanted to talk to her. She hesitated and gave bad excuses, but eventually she agreed. She dialed the number and I took the phone. Her mom picked up and said hello. Awkwardly, I introduced myself and she said her daughter would like to speak to her. Silence. And then I heard crying. I gave the phone to the girl and she was just quiet listening to her mom cry, and then said hello. And then she cried. They talked, and then she gave the phone back to me. I talked to her mom some more. I drove her down to the bus station and bought her a bus ticket home. I gave her $100 cash for incidentals and some formula, diapers, wipes, snacks for the road. Got to the bus, and she just cried, saying thank you over and over. I gave her a kiss on the forehead and a hug and kissed her baby, and she got on the bus. I get a Christmas card every year from her. She's 21 now and in college. Oh my God! Her name is Michaela and her baby was Joe. I've never really told anyone about this, but I just feel good knowing I did something good in this world. Maybe it'll make up for the things that I fucked up. Oh my goodness. That was such a good story. Like, oh my gosh. I just love hearing stories of people doing kind things for others. It really gives you some faith in humanity when you get stories like those. And I'm so happy that it worked out for her. I feel like that was a gift from God that she ran into that guy. He was her angel that day, and he was able to help her and get her back home. So, and that just lets you know, like, right there, that no matter what you do, like, family is family. Like, those are your parents. And that just shows that no matter what, don't ever think for a second that you have no one and that no one cares about you, because even though she took some money from her family, they still welcomed her back with open arms, and they probably just missed her. They hadn't seen her in almost a whole year. So That was just wild. That means, like, don't let your pride and your ego and anything that you might be, downing yourself for get in the way of your future and your family. Because look at that. It turned out to be a happy story. Period. Let me know how you guys enjoyed that story down in the comments. And if you have anything to say about it. Okay, I found another story, guys, and this is another good one. So, this story is by another power user, and it's quoted, "Don't bother sending a text, I'll be dead by then." So, my story starts on what was a normal day taking calls on the front line for a large cable company. The job pays well, and for the most part, the people I deal with are fairly nice to talk to. Quite often, we'll get calls from seniors, especially in the morning, who have premise equipment issues such as snow on the screen or no signal on their TV sets connected to our digital equipment. Now, my heart does go out to some of these folks because up until recently, a past few years, we would supply straight analog cable to many homes, coax direct from the wall to TV with scrolling guide. However, most cities we service nowadays require our digital equipment to receive channels, and this has caused a lot of frustration with older people who don't know how to operate said equipment. For example, always having your TV set on video or HDMI to get picture. So oftentimes, we get customers who are repeat offenders with long ticket histories of these types of issues. So anyway, I get a call from an older gentleman who's quite bitter and mean right off the bat. Doesn't like that I asked for his address and telephone number to verify the account. Hates that he has to speak with a machine before reaching an agent, etc., etc. I have some experience handling these types of customers. However, this call was going to be a little different. I spent over 45 minutes with this guy, we'll call him Mr. Smith, trying to get his TV set connected to the digital box properly so he could receive a picture. No luck. He was getting clearly frustrated by the whole ordeal and started blaming me for not knowing how to do my job properly, how I was useless, etc. Whatever, like I said, I've dealt with this before, so I tried my best not to take it personally, but eventually I had to ask him if we could book a service tech to the home, a courtesy call, to get his TV working correctly. Unfortunately, our booking calendar was showing an appointment 3 days out. That's when he dropped this on me. "Don't bother sending a goddamn technician because I'll be dead by then. I'm 94 and TV is the only thing I have left. Are you really going to make me wait for a tech?" I instantly felt bad. I mean, I've heard every complaint in the book as to why people don't want to wait for a tech, but this one kind of got to me. I'm in my mid-20s, so honestly, I can't even imagine how it must feel to utter those words. So I spoke with my supervisor who said they'd see if we could get someone out earlier, but we couldn't promise anything. So I let Mr. Smith know, and he was predictably not very happy with my answer. At that point, it almost sounded like he started to cry and went into how he has no family left and no friends that come to visit. This was after I asked if there was anyone in his building that might be able to help. Man, I felt terrible, so I took it upon myself to ask Mr. Smith if I could pay a visit. He lived in a small city over from where I was, not very far to drive. He was a little shocked that I was willing to do this, but sounded thankful I was willing to come out and help him personally. So I head over. I get to the residence and meet him. Within 30 seconds, I had the cable running again. Simple input change. And even brought him a simplified remote for his set-top box to avoid this problem in the future. That's when he started crying. He goes into how he hasn't actually spoken or really interacted with anyone for years. He gave me a hug and told me how thankful he was that I came out and helped him. He told me how sorry he was for being so mean earlier on. I said it was no problem and I was happy to help. And that was it. I left. 3 weeks later, my supervisor comes to my desk and asks me if I could come speak with her for a bit about an account for Mr. Smith. Turns out he sent the cable company a letter outlining how thankful he was for helping him with this issue and how it really made an old man happy again for once in a very long time. The letter was framed and put on our front entrance to retail. I guess the moral of this story is no matter how nasty someone is to you over the phone, sometimes they're not always a terrible person and just going through a lot. I still think about Mr. Smith occasionally when I get those nasty customers, and it makes me feel a little better. Anyways, thanks for reading. Just thought I'd share how this one call changed my outlook on life. That story was pretty darn beautiful, if I do say so myself. I think that was a really, really extremely nice gesture for you to go out and help the older guy. I couldn't imagine either being really old and have no one come to visit me, talk to me, or anything for years like that. Like, I know I like to be to myself often, but even still, you would just think that he would have some family who cares or something. But either way, I don't know. Maybe Mr. Smith was just very misunderstood. Would you have done the same thing in this situation? Or would you have just let him wait for a tech? Back to the nails. I know this has been a long process. Right now I'm drilling a little hole. I've added some charms to this nail, and I've used some like pearl string to thread it through the beads that I placed on her nail. And I added some little hearts to the end, and I'm using Macart's rhinestone gel and a little bit of gel polish to seal where I placed the string. Those little beads were our favorite part of this nail set because it spelled out Kawaii, which again is her baby's name. So I thought that was a great addition to this set. This nail video is just about over, and I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this nail tutorial. It did take me a while, but we got it done, and she was super, super cute for her baby shower. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any time I post future videos. I will be dropping at least another 2 videos by the end of this week, so I don't want you to miss it, of course. I'm just going in and adding my finishing touches, my last couple rhinestones and final details, and then we'll be all finished. I am going to make sure I show you some clips of how her nails came out at the end of this video once I get my station all cleaned up. I just went ahead and used some gel polish to secure all my rhinestones, and I gave her nails a last quick cure. And that was it. That's all for today's video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.
Gucci, Gucci, Louis, Louis, Fendi, Fendi.